Hello, my name is Henry Keane. This is News Pulse at UATV. Welcome to the daily segment. Today in the episode, Moscow is on fire. Again, this time it is a logistics company in Kolydino, in Russia's Moscow region. Watch and have fun. Romania shoots down 3 cheap Russian drones with 3 expensive F-16 missiles. The UATV does the math. Laura Loomer, who recently was in Ukraine and experienced Russian night attack on her own, now call US for Patriots for Ukraine. Ukrainian FPV-1 drone struck a warehouse operated by logistic company 3PL in Kolydino in Russia's Moscow region. The facility provides cargo storage and distribution for major Russian companies. 5 points reports about that, but also it provides or provided goods for Russian army. Such legit strikes as such times of war weakens Russia's economic potential by disrupting logistic chains and causing losses to major Russian companies. Between July 25th and 27th, units from Ukraine's Unmanned Systems Forces struck 18 energy infrastructure targets, and 14 of which were located in Russian-occupied Crimean peninsula. This was confirmed by Commander Robert Magyar Brovdi. In total, for the past month, Ukrainian drone operators targeted as much as 154 energy facilities. Magyar stated that these precise strikes triggered widespread power outages across the occupied peninsula. Amongst the high-value targets hit was Simferopol and Bakhchysarai substations, which was struck twice in just 3 days. And beyond Crimea, also, Brovdi reported successful strikes on key power substations in Luhansk and Donetsk regions. Ukraine has received a license from the United Kingdom to manufacture the Stone Cloak electronic warfare system. British Prime Minister announced it during the visit of Ukrainian President Zelensky to the United Kingdom. Roughly the size of a tablet, the device is mounted directly onto a drone. It makes more difficult for air defense systems to detect it, track and engage with the aircraft. In particular, the system will be also incorporated into the BrakeStop project. This is a new low-cost British cruise missile. But according to the British government, thousands of these modules have already been delivered to Ukraine and are being used on the battlefield. Once intellectual property rights are transferred, Ukraine will be able to launch serial production on its own.
Vladimir, you are the first leader I have welcomed in person since taking office. And that is no accident. It is intended to send a very clear message. We are with Ukraine 100%. I am personally with you 100%, Mr. President. And I will honour every commitment this country has made to Ukraine in full. We will support you to get to a full and unconditional ceasefire. Ukraine has already changed the story of this war. You are turning the tables on Russia. So we will keep up the pressure, pushing for a ceasefire and a resumption of negotiations, which must have Ukraine at the table and include a strong voice for Europe too.
Our relationship with the UK is stronger than ever, and I thank Andy for his commitment to this partnership and for giving so much attention to defense and to our security. And defense and security are never just words. When a country invests in defense and invests in security, cities like Portsmouth, local communities, ports, and shipyards become stronger and stronger. They grow. They matter more.
Is it enormous carelessness or indifference? Maybe enormous commonwealth? That we at UATV don't know. But what we know, though, is that what it is not. It is not that of common sense for sure. The Romanian army spent approximately €1.5 million in just 3 days to shoot down the 3 Russian drones that entered the national airspace and were destroyed in the counties of Buzhai and Tulsia. The majority of the costs are represented by the launched F-16 aircraft AIM-9X missiles. Of course, a single such missile costs approximately $400,000. The Ministry of Defense is looking for cheaper solutions, but the first anti-drone systems are expected to enter the military's equipment only next year, which could be considered a really slow pace, having already signed a drone deal for cheap P-1 Sun Ukrainian drones production with Ukraine more than a year ago. What is a good sign, though, is that drones are down, after all, and that Romania sends out Russian ambassador from Bucharest and calls out Romanian ambassador from Moscow. As per Reuters, the Pentagon acknowledged its drone output remains a fraction of Ukraine's production. Travis Metz, Deputy Director and Chief Operating Officer of the Defense Innovation Unit, who has run the Pentagon's drone dominance program since last fall, said in an interview that Ukraine will produce between 6 and 7 million small first-person view attack drones this year already, or roughly 500,000 a month. By comparison, the Pentagon's $1.1 billion program will have ordered just under 200,000 drones cumulatively by February. Regardless of your personal view on Laura Loomer, the political reality is undeniable. For over a year, President Trump privately insisted to advisors that Ukraine was losing the war. However, in recent weeks, he has expressed fresh optimism about Ukraine and its president, Volodymyr Zelensky. According to the Wall Street Journal and those who have spoken with him, including Laura Loomer herself, Trump has been deeply impressed by Zelensky's resilience as Ukraine takes the fight directly into Russian territory. And frankly, it is not every day you see a prominent, highly vocal anti-Ukraine commentator with genuine access to President Donald Trump to pause, reevaluate, and then admit, I think I was misled by Russian propaganda. I was wrong about Ukraine. And it doesn't stop there. Beyond that admission, Laura Loomer is now actively trying to make amends, having witnessed firsthand the reality of what Russia is doing to Ukraine night after night for nearly 5 years.
After running to the bomb shelter in Ukraine myself several times, since being here due to Russian ballistic missiles being launched toward my direction, after feeling my chest tighten as I was woken up in the middle of the night by air raid alarms nearly every night, and after watching the devastation and destruction of American businesses in Ukraine by Russian ballistic missiles, it is my opinion that the United States should give Ukraine more Patriot missiles. Laura Loomer, MAGA blogger on X.
Me as a journalist who have lost 3 friends and colleagues to this war already killed by Russians, I don't really know how to comment on that follows, so just watch.
When a special military operation will be over, what would we do then? I mean, we're so into it, aren't we?
And you know what? A thought just crossed my mind. Dear Ms. Loomer, first of all, thank you for visiting us in Ukraine. We truly appreciate your time and effort. We have a favor to ask, though. Next time you see President Trump, please share this part of our segment with him. Show him that Vladimir Putin, who is feeling somewhat isolated, deprived of the opportunity to launch further massacres against civilians in Ukraine. You understand this reality firsthand now, having experienced nights in a bomb shelter in Kiev yourself. And perhaps, just perhaps, you could convey one crucial fact to President Trump, something that UATV, Ukrainian media, and President Zelensky have tried to bring to his desk throughout his presidency. Vladimir Putin is not merely a warmongering Soviet-style Tsar who craves war. He is war. And to end this war, we simply have to stop Vladimir Putin. And Ukraine knows how to do this. We also know that our battle-tested expertise can help you, Mr. President, prevent and end other wars around the globe. Thank you. The precision of Ukrainian drones effectively creates conditions for real diplomacy. This was stated by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky after a meeting with the Defense Forces Command. Ukrainian drones cover distances of more than 3,000 kilometers, reaching targets in the Ural region in Russia and Siberia even, and their capability to operate over longer distances is increasing. More in our story for you.
In the past week alone, Ukrainian drones struck the Belbek and Saki airfields in occupied Crimea. A Tor M2 air defense system and a Pol-21 electronic warfare complex were also destroyed, the Security Service of Ukraine reports. In Rostov-on-Don, a multifunctional gravestone radar station and its antenna tower, which form part of the S-400 Triumph air defense system, were put out of action. 2 cargo ships used to transport military cargo between Iran and Russia were hit. And in the Caspian Sea, the Molnia missile boat was damaged. As part of a 40-day operation, oil infrastructure facilities of the aggressor country were also damaged.
The oil production platform of the Filanovsky field in the Caspian Sea, an object that is an important component of Russian energy infrastructure, was hit. Linear Production Dispatch Station Subkankulovo, Republic of Bashkortostan, long-range SBU drones covered about 1,350 kilometers and struck the tank farm of the oil pumping station, mini-refinery Novospassky, Ulyanovsk region. As a result of the strike, the enterprise's tank farm caught fire. Mini-refinery First Plant, Kaluga region, another facility of Russia's fuel infrastructure that supplies petroleum products for the aggressor's war machine. From a publication by the Security Service of Ukraine.
On the night of July 27th, an export terminal 250 kilometers from the front line in the Rostov area was struck. This was reported by President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky. Oil facilities in the Yaroslavl region and the Udmurt Republic, 1,300 kilometers from Ukraine's state border, were also damaged. Ukrainian drones are already striking at distances of more than 3,000 kilometers. The buildup of Ukraine's long-range capabilities continues, the head of state emphasized.
We have agreed to continue our operations and updated the list of priority targets in accordance with the real impact on Russia and its ability to continue and prolong this war. The main goal is for our long-range pressure to push Russia even further towards diplomacy through complications in the production of components for weapons, oil, and other economic losses, and by returning this war to its home harbor. Volodymyr Zelensky, President of Ukraine, on Telegram.
Previously, the majority of sorties by the aggressor country's strategic aviation were carried out from the Engels airfield in the Saratov region, but after successful strikes by the Ukrainian Defense Forces, the Russian command had to relocate most of the bombers to the Ukrainka military base in the Amur region. This has reduced the effectiveness of aviation, and the number of aircraft itself has significantly decreased, experts note.
The total number that can fundamentally fly is somewhere around 10 to 12 machines. And considering that there used to be 18, that means 6 machines have simply exhausted their resources. They have burned through the resources of their engines and airframes. There is nothing left. I think that by next year, I am not sure the Russians will still have any reasonable number of long-range strategic aviation aircraft capable of flying from the Far East and delivering their bombs.
Kyiv is preparing to conclude the largest agreement with Washington in the format of a drone deal, President Volodymyr Zelensky said in an interview with American blogger Laura Loomer. Ukraine has already handed over maritime and aerial drones to the U.S. military for testing, including medium and long-range ones. Effective deterrence of the Kremlin's offensive machine is bringing political dividends to Ukraine, experts note.
We see strikes on military facilities on the territory of Russia. We see the geography that is constantly expanding. We see the range that is increasing. We see how catastrophic the situation is for the Russian fleet in the Black Sea, the Sea of Azov, and so on. And all of this is working. And now the question arises. In this entire geopolitical transformation, Ukraine's role has only grown. And accordingly, this is recognized. Our partners recognize it. And this carries political weight.
According to Volodymyr Zelensky, the development of Ukraine's long-range unmanned program is entering a new phase. This year, the range of Ukrainian drones should increase from 3,000 kilometers to 4,000. And already in 2027, Kyiv will have UAVs with a range of up to 10,000 kilometers. Reported by Andriy Dmitrenko, UATV News.
Well, that's it for today. I'm Henry Keane. Thank you so very much for watching our segment. We feel your pressure. We appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Please also share, comment, subscribe to UATV. We've got you covered on whatever tomorrow holds for all of us in Ukraine or internationally, but always in Ukrainian perspective. Stay safe and see you tomorrow. Goodbye.